Welcome to our Street Truths channel. Today, we're revealing the little-known truths about Las Vegas, a city famous worldwide for its dazzling lights and non-stop entertainment. Behind the glittering facade of Sin City lies a Vegas that most visitors, and even many residents, have never seen. While millions flock here in search of fortune and fun, not everyone leaves as a winner. Beyond the opulent hotels and the never-ending energy of the Strip lies a harsh reality filled with hardship, resilience, and the struggle to survive. In the shadow of billion-dollar hotels, thousands of people struggle with homelessness. Get ready to witness the rarely seen face of Las Vegas, where people who have lost everything fight to rebuild their lives in a city built on hope and illusion. Before diving into this in-depth exploration, please don't forget to like our video, share your comments, and subscribe to our Urban Unveiled channel. If you enjoy our Real Stories, Real Cities series, turn on notifications to ensure you don't miss our next compelling stories. City of Contrasts, the story of two Vegas, known as the entertainment capital of the world. Las Vegas is a city of breathtaking contrasts. Just steps away from five-star resorts, world-class culinary experiences, and sold-out shows, a completely different reality exists. While millions of tourists indulge in endless opulence, thousands of city residents are fighting for survival. At the heart of the Strip, a deep homelessness crisis is worsening. According to the latest data, approximately 8,000 people are homeless in Las Vegas, with this number having increased by a staggering 20% just last year. What drives so many people to entrust their lives to a city that swiftly devours fortunes? For countless dreamers, it's the irresistible allure of the American dream. The hope of a fresh start in a place where the impossible feels within reach. But what happens when that dream turns into a nightmare? Las Vegas's blinding glamour hides deep and often painful truths. Those who come in search of hope often leave echoing with the sound of what they've lost. Las Vegas is a city of striking contrasts, where the glittering wealth of the wealthy stands shoulder to shoulder with the silent desperation of the poor. Here, the chasm between achieving success and losing everything is razor-thin. As housing costs skyrocket, job opportunities dwindle, and social safety nets weaken, an increasing number of residents are slipping through the cracks. In Vegas, gambling isn't just on the casino floor. It's a brutal daily struggle for survival. Housing crisis, an unattainable roof. One of the key factors driving Las Vegas's homelessness crisis is the severe and persistent shortage of affordable housing. For every 100 low-income renters in the city, there are only 14 affordable housing units available. This massive disparity is truly shocking for a city that markets itself as the land of unlimited opportunities. This acute shortage forces thousands of residents to spend over 30% of their income just to have a roof over their heads. Living so close to the financial abyss, even a small setback can send you spiraling downward. A sudden illness, job loss, or unexpected car repair can push entire families into the harsh reality of homelessness. Housing costs in Las Vegas have risen significantly in recent years, outpacing wage increases. The average rent for a one-bedroom apartment is over $1,200 per month. For the hard-working professionals in the city's thriving hotel and service industry, the heart of the Vegas economy, this price is simply unaffordable. Many are living on the brink of financial ruin, with no safety net. Why can't a city that earns billions from tourism provide affordable housing for its own workforce? The answer lies in the gap between those who reap the lion's share of the city's glamorous profits and those who struggle in the expanding shadows, often unseen. As the skyline continues to rise with luxury hotels, massive casinos, and upscale apartments, the inventory of affordable housing shrinks, pushing countless low-income residents to the brink of poverty. Mental health and addiction. The invisible battles. Las Vegas is a city built on the essence of risk, a magnet for those chasing dreams, defying fate, and succumbing to every desire. However, for many, these high-risk choices come at a painful cost. Mental illness and addiction are increasingly significant driving forces behind the city's growing homelessness crisis. Experts estimate that nearly 2 out of every 3 people experiencing homelessness in Las Vegas are simultaneously struggling with complex mental health issues or debilitating substance abuse. For them, the path to recovery is fraught with daunting obstacles, ranging from severely limited access to basic care and deeply ingrained social stigma to the brutal daily realities of surviving on the streets. Serious conditions such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, are alarmingly prevalent within the homeless community. Without consistent access to mental health services, these disorders make it nearly impossible to find stable employment or secure reliable housing. Instead, many are trapped in a self-perpetuating cycle. Untreated mental illness often leads to substance abuse, which in turn deepens the spiral toward homelessness. This is not just a public health crisis, it is a fundamental moral crisis. Allowing vulnerable individuals to suffer such profound pain is a clear violation of their most basic human rights and a reality that must be confronted, exposed, and irreversibly changed. For many, the roots of their struggles lie in childhood trauma or abuse, which leave indelible emotional scars. For others, the overwhelming emotional burden of life on the streets triggers the onset of serious mental health issues. To cope with relentless pain and helplessness, many turn to drugs or alcohol, a brief, temporary escape from an unbearable reality. However, addiction tightens its grip, pulling them further into a cycle that becomes nearly impossible to break without deep, sustained support. The impact of COVID-19, a city in turmoil. The COVID-19 pandemic sent shockwaves across the globe, but few cities were hit as hard as Las Vegas. With an economy inextricably linked to tourism and entertainment, the sudden halt to travel and live events wiped out tens of thousands of jobs overnight. The hospitality and service sectors, which were the lifeblood of a large portion of the local population, were completely devastated. For countless families already living paycheck to paycheck, the economic collapse pushed them dangerously close to the brink of homelessness. The eviction moratoriums implemented at the peak of the pandemic offered only a temporary reprieve, a brief lifeline. Once these critical protections were lifted, the city was hit by a crushing wave of evictions, displacing thousands more. In the immediate aftermath of COVID-19, Las Vegas witnessed a striking increase in homelessness, as individuals and families who had previously been barely holding on suddenly found themselves without any safety net. For many, the expiration of federal unemployment benefits and critical rent assistance programs marked the breaking point. This raises a critical and ongoing question. What will be the long-term impact of the pandemic on cities like Las Vegas, where the path to economic recovery is painfully slow and deeply unequal? Tourism may be rebounding, but the pandemic's indelible aftershocks are starkly visible, particularly in the growing number of individuals forced to live on the streets. The pandemic also dealt a devastating blow to mental health nationwide. Prolonged isolation, immense financial pressure, and a pervasive sense of uncertainty intensified the struggles of countless individuals. Substance abuse has risen, and access to vital mental health services has been further restricted as healthcare systems have collapsed under unprecedented pressure. For many already teetering on the edge, the crisis pushed them over the precipice, tragically driving them into homelessness and irrevocably altering the course of their lives. A painful reality. Life on the streets. Surviving on the streets of Las Vegas is fraught with brutal and unforgiving challenges. The city's desert climate shows no mercy. During the scorching summer peak, temperatures regularly rise above 105 degrees Fahrenheit, turning sidewalks into searing hot plates. Homeless individuals, with little to no access to shelter, shade, or clean drinking water, are left exposed to dangerous conditions, battling heat stroke, severe dehydration, and the very real constant threat of death. Under this merciless sun, surviving each day becomes a desperate struggle. Winter brings a different, equally brutal challenge. Even if the sun warms the day, nights tell a much colder story, with temperatures often dropping below freezing. For those living on the streets, this is not just uncomfortable. It is life-threatening. Many people without access to warm clothing, blankets, or safe shelter face the risk of life-threatening hypothermia as their bodies struggle to survive the extreme temperature fluctuations between night and day. In downtown Las Vegas, just a few steps away from vital shelters like Catholic charities, large groups of homeless individuals gather daily in hopes of securing a coveted spot at an emergency shelter. However, with tragically limited bed capacity, many are forced to wait for hours in agonizing conditions, only to be turned away once the facility reaches capacity. For those unable to enter, the unforgiving streets become the only option for the night, exposing them to punishing weather conditions and the constant widespread dangers that define life on the streets. Las Vegas, mole people, life beneath the city. One of the most unexpected and truly unsettling realities of Las Vegas's homelessness crisis is the secret existence of those known as the mole people. These are individuals who sustain a hidden existence deep within the city, within a vast, complex network of flood control tunnels. Designed to channel rare but intense desert rains, these underground passages stretch hundreds of miles beneath the glittering neon of the Strip. These dark, damp channels provide a fragile refuge for approximately 1,500 people, shielding them from the harsh and often dangerous world above. However, life in these tunnels comes with its own deadly risks. Flash floods can emerge with little or no warning, transforming narrow passages into raging torrents within minutes. Those who cannot escape in time often pay the ultimate price, but the only danger lurking below isn't the currents. The tunnels are inherently unhealthy, with no access to clean water, proper sanitation, or adequate airflow, creating a perfect breeding ground for disease. Infections spread rapidly, and without critical medical support, even seemingly minor health issues can quickly escalate into life-threatening conditions. Stigma and public perception, breaking down walls. One of the deepest and most persistent challenges in addressing homelessness is the deeply ingrained stigma that inevitably attaches itself to it. Society often views individuals experiencing homelessness not as complex human beings, but as a problem to be managed or an inconvenience to be avoided, rarely pausing to understand the complex, often heartbreaking paths that lead someone to live on the streets. This harmful perception creates an even steeper uphill battle, making it exponentially more difficult for those experiencing homelessness to access vital support, genuine compassion, or real opportunities to carefully rebuild their lives. Public perception significantly influences how people treat those experiencing homelessness. Many still mistakenly assume that homelessness stems solely from poor personal choices, overlooking the deeper systemic factors that fuel the crisis: the critical shortage of affordable housing, severely inadequate mental health services, and severely limited job opportunities. This harmful narrative shapes how society interacts with individuals experiencing homelessness in public spaces, often resulting in exclusion, overt mistreatment, and a deeply disturbing lack of empathy from the broader community. The struggle to survive. Daily life on the edge. For the homeless in Las Vegas, surviving is a brutal daily struggle. With limited resources, many are forced to resort to begging, collecting recyclable materials, or taking on unsafe temporary jobs. Even these efforts can put them at serious risk. Vulnerable and helpless individuals are often exploited by those with malicious intent, forced into dangerous or illegal work for low wages. Violence is a constant presence on the streets. Homeless individuals often become easy targets for criminals. Physical attacks, brazen robberies, and more severe acts of violence are daily threats. Women are particularly at higher risk. Many fall victim to sexual abuse or human trafficking. Countless homeless individuals who cannot find a safe place to shelter live in constant fear. For those struggling with addiction, the fight for survival becomes even more challenging. Substance abuse exacerbates the hardships of street life. consuming valuable time, limited resources, and the strength they possess. While addiction may offer a temporary and destructive escape from harsh realities, it ultimately pulls them deeper into a cycle of pain. Health services, an ongoing crisis. Access to basic health services remains a major issue for Las Vegas's homeless community. Many individuals without a permanent address or health insurance are forced to turn to already overburdened emergency rooms for medical care. Recent local surveys indicate that 40% of the homeless population relies on emergency rooms as their primary source of health care. This not only overburdens an already strained system, but also increases public health costs and reduces access for others who truly need urgent care. The significant lack of preventive health care services is turning small, easily manageable issues into serious, life-threatening emergencies. Even a simple, untreated infection can escalate into a critical condition if left unattended for weeks or months. While Nevada's Medicaid expansion has provided some homeless individuals with access to health care, it falls short of addressing the full and overwhelming scale of the need. Social impact. Ripple effect. Homelessness is not just a personal struggle. It is a complex societal issue that affects everyone. In a city like Las Vegas, where tourism plays a significant role, the visible presence of large homeless encampments unfortunately leads to friction between tourists, residents, and the homeless. Public spaces, such as parks, sidewalks, and plazas, become places where homeless individuals seek shelter or food, leading to understandable concerns and complaints from both visitors and local residents. Crime and social disorder are unfortunately prevalent in areas with high levels of homelessness. Due to severe limitations in access to basic services or critical support systems, many homeless individuals may resort to petty crimes or destructive behaviors to survive. Surprisingly, this situation triggers a cycle that fuels increased law enforcement attention toward homelessness. However, without addressing the underlying root causes, the systemic issues we've discussed, the problem will continue to spiral. A ray of hope. Social compassion in action. Despite the overwhelming nature of Las Vegas's homelessness crisis, numerous nonprofit organizations and compassionate grassroots groups are working tirelessly to bring about meaningful change. Nonprofit organizations like the Nevada Homeless Alliance and Help Hope Home are working tirelessly to connect homeless individuals with vital support and essential resources. From food distribution to recovery initiatives, these groups serve as a critical lifeline for those with nowhere else to turn, providing not just emergency aid, but a tangible path toward real hope. One of the most impactful initiatives is led by Shine a Light, an extraordinary nonprofit organization dedicated to helping the mole people living in the depths of the city's flood control tunnels. Brave social service teams regularly enter these hidden underground communities to provide basic necessities, vital medical assistance, and critical access to addiction treatment and housing programs. Such support in these challenging, invisible places can have a truly life-changing impact and offer a rare spark of hope in an otherwise hopeless reality. The Courtyard Homeless Resource Center plays an undeniably critical role in the fight against homelessness by offering a comprehensive range of integrated services, including temporary shelter, medical care, critical mental health support, and basic job training. However, despite its profound importance, the center's overall impact is often limited due to chronic underfunding and consistently overcrowded facilities. While many compassionate organizations are taking steps to help, the scale of homelessness in Las Vegas requires a much larger, more systemic solution to create real, lasting, and transformative change. Moving forward. Steps toward a brighter future. So, what concrete steps can we take collectively to truly address the growing homelessness crisis in Las Vegas? First and foremost, significantly increasing the availability of affordable housing and providing critical rental assistance to low-income families is absolutely critical. The Housing First model, which prioritizes permanent housing before offering additional services such as mental health care and addiction treatment, has consistently proven to be remarkably effective. Expanding emergency shelter and temporary housing programs will also provide homeless individuals with the safe spaces they desperately need to stabilize their lives. Additionally, providing robust job training and comprehensive employment support will enable them to successfully reintegrate into society. Finally, targeting support for specific vulnerable groups, such as veterans and homeless youth, is critical to significantly reducing long-term homelessness. These combined, coordinated efforts can help achieve meaningful, sustainable progress in addressing this complex crisis. Thank you for joining us as we explore the homelessness crisis in the United States through the lens of a travel documentary. The stories we shared today are not just statistics. They are about real people, mostly women, mostly families, who deserve dignity, basic security, and the opportunity to rebuild their lives. If this video resonated with you, please like it, leave your comments, and subscribe to our channel for more Street Truths content, highlighting important issues from around the world. Let's work together to raise awareness and drive positive, lasting change.